That is a makeshift camera.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Happy Hour Live. I've got my white wine today, and we're going to learn how to make some great cocktails. So today we have the guys from BATTELLO in Jersey City. So if you've never been to BATTELLO, it has a beautiful outdoor area. It's right in Jersey City, right next to the skyline. So we're super happy to have Chef Ryan DePersio and BATTELLO bar manager Schuyler Greenman joining us today to show us how to make an appetizer and a cocktail. Let's bring them on. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing great. How have you guys been? And tell me about, how you're operating these days.
So it has been quite a busy time. BATTELLO obviously has always been a very popular restaurant. Being on the waterfront draws every person you can imagine, and it's the same. We're about 130 seats, all outdoors and partially on the patio because now Governor Murphy allowed 2 openings. We actually have all 3 openings, so there's an even flow of air, and it's busy every single night of the week. We're sitting people at 10 o'clock when we think it's supposed to wind down. We have 40 people left to sit.
Wow.
It's been great.
Well, and I can't tell you how, as a diner, how valuable it is to have a really nice outdoor area, especially on the water because it's been so hot these days. So having that breeze come in is very nice.
Absolutely. The breeze is a big help. The heat has been hot, but our customers don't really care. They just want to have BATTELLO. They need their BATTELLO fix.
Yeah, they got to get their BATTELLO fix. And I bet, the cocktails and the light food help. So you're going to make some of that for us today. So let's start off with the appetizer. So Chef Ryan, show us how to make this delicious meal that you guys can serve at your parties.
So you obviously have been to all 3 restaurants, right? Fascino, BATTELLO, and Kitchen Step.
Yes, those are all 3 that you are executive chef at, right?
Yes, chef and partner. And the one thing that we take a tremendous amount of pride in, being proud of, is our fresh pastas. So I felt like I'd be doing the justice of showing you one of our fresh pastas. All right. So this one is eggplant and smoked pecorino triangoli. All right. So triangoli is just a fancy Italian word for triangle. It is a ravioli, but it is shaped just like a triangle. All right. So fresh pasta made in-house. It's going to go right into the water. Okay. We have salted boiling water here. And I'm just going to drop them right in.
How salty? Are we talking really salty?
We have to have ocean water for pasta. All right, that helps season it. The biggest thing with a lot of our pastas is, especially this pasta, is that we're depending on the filling to do all of the work. So there's just a little touches here and there, and which I'll show you. I have a pan that's been heating up, and I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil. And when I worked in Italy, all we worked with was olive oil. When you watch all the cooking shows, they say, don't cook with olive oil because the smoking temperature can get too high and burn everything. But if you're a good cook, you control the temperature, okay? And you make sure that it's hot but not burning hot. And then you won't have that bitter flavor. So I put a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm adding a little bit of chopped garlic. And what we're going to do is we're just going to toast that garlic a little bit, all right? We're just going to add a little bit of nice toasted garlic flavor, and then we throw in our cherry tomatoes. These are blistered cherry tomatoes. So what I mean by blistered is that we take cherry tomatoes and we score them. We drop them in a fryer for like 5 seconds, and they blister all the skins off. So we peel the skins off so that you don't have like a chewy skin. It doesn't break down very well, so then the tomato is very tender. Okay.
You want to do that before you're putting it in the pot, right?
Correct. So this is all done, pre-done in advance. Okay. All right. The garlic is already toasting, and there is so much acidity from the tomatoes. I don't need to use white wine. I'm just going to toss the tomatoes in a little bit of the garlic. All right.
Some lovely Jersey tomatoes this time of year, so there's plenty to choose from.
It's so funny because all the chefs that are out of state always joke about New Jersey, but they forget that we're called the Garden State. And there's a reason for that, because we produce incredible product, all right, especially in the summer.
You can't beat a tomato.
So what we're going to do next is we're going to throw in fresh basil, okay, and a little pat of butter and a little bit of Parmesan stock, okay? And we're just going to toss that around, and we're going to make sure that the butter melts, okay?
And what is Parmesan stock?
Parmesan stock, that's an excellent question. So, you know, biggest thing for chefs is that we want to utilize everything in-house, correct? Mm-hmm. So what would you do with Parmesan rind that, since you can't eat it? So what we do is we put it in with water, some fresh herbs, bay leaf, peppercorns, and we simmer that for about 3 hours. Wow. All right. And that's just a Parmesan stock, just like that.
Amazing.
Right? So a couple minutes later, we take our pasta. And the biggest thing is, what I love is making sure that we drop just a little bit of pasta water in there. The starch in the pasta water is going to help the pasta stick, okay? And then we're just going to toss the fresh pasta. All right. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I left the basil leaves whole. I want you to see the basil. I want you to taste the basil. So that's why I left it whole. And then we just toss it up. And it is summer, so it's a very light dish. And I'm going to plate it right in front of you, just like this. And we just take all the trianguli, put them on the plate, just like that. Cherry tomatoes all around. All right. Very, very simple. Same thing. Just keep plating all around, fill all the empty spaces, right? And then we just drizzle it with a little bit of sauce, just like that. And then again, in Italy, when I worked there, most important thing, finish every pasta with a beautiful olive oil, just like that. And then we shake a little bit of beautiful Parmesan Reggiano on top. That is your dish. It is eggplant and smoked pecorino triangoli with blistered cherry tomatoes, Parmesan broth, basil, and a whole lot of love.
That is gorgeous. Now, do you have any recommendations for good olive oil brands? Like, what's your go-to?
Yeah, so I'm a big Arbequina olive oil fan, which is Spanish olive oil, to be honest with you. I know that I'm talking about Italy and Italian olive oils, but honestly, for the right price and the perfect balance of fruity and just that slight bitter bending, Arbequina olive oil.
Awesome. And, you know, a little birdie told me, Chef Ryan, that you're a Lululemon brand ambassador. So you can probably run all of this off in your Lululemon. Is that right? After all these carbs?
I am on my second year as a Lululemon ambassador. I run, I work out. My wife, Stephanie, is a trainer, so I take her classes as well. I work out like 6-7 days a week. And I have to because I taste food every single day. So it's a pleasure, and I'm excited to just continue it.
Yeah, I think that's a common misconception. People think carbs are bad, but carbs are so good and they taste amazing, and you can definitely have them.
And the misconception is they say never trust a skinny chef, but you have eaten my food, so I know you trust me.
Yes. Well, we can't say that anymore. Every chef is fit these days, so we can't go by that anymore. So, Schuyler, do you want to show us how to make some cocktails to go along with this?
Oh, I would love to. So we're going to do the first one we're going to start off with, I would say, is definitely more of an aperitif. It's a little spin on a Negroni. We call it the Chef's Aid here because while we were closed during when we were doing takeouts and to-goes before we reopened for outside service, the only thing that would make the chefs happy at the end of the day was when I would make them a mezcal Negroni. So I figured I'd call this drink a Chef's Aid. And it's very simple because it's 1 part mezcal to 1 part Carpata Antica Sweet Vermouth and 1 part Campari. All 1 ounce, super simple. And the only caveat is we're going to add 4 dashes of tiki bitters.
What are tiki bitters?
Tiki bitters are from this company called Bitterments, and they're very heavy on a cola flavor. So these are cola nut, and there's a lot of fall spice. So you get like a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg in there too.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to add our ice. And then we're going to stir till it's well chilled. Usually I count about 30 in my head.
So you're just adding all the ingredients to the cup. You don't have to, put it in a mixer or anything like that.
You can do this in your glass if you want to save yourself a couple steps, but for purposes here, I like to make it in the mixing glass, then pour it over the Amaro ice cube because it's going to melt a little bit quickly.
Gotcha.
I stir it with the ice cube. So we're going to put our strainer on.
Might I add that Negroni is one of my favorite drinks of all time. Just that.
Yes, our food editor, Esther Davidowitz, she is always drinking a Negroni, so I'm going to have to tell her to come by and visit you. I never had a Negroni before I met her.
I still have her jacket, by the way. You guys
I have to go pick that up from you.
I have it.
So
One day I'll get it.
So in here is an Amaro ice cube, which is we have inch by inch ice cube molds, and it's a 1/4 ounce of Amaro. Fill the rest with water, and then just let it sit overnight, and it freezes. And what it does is when the ice cube melts, it adds to the flavor of the cocktail instead of watering it down. And then all we're gonna do is finish it off with an orange peel, and drop it right in, and it's ready to go.
Gorgeous. Super simple. I love the color. You know, it's a nice twist on a Negroni. There you go. Cheers. Cheers, Chef Ryan. So can you tell us what you're going to make us next? We have one more cocktail that you're going to show us.
So the next one I would say is definitely on the digestive side. It is a tequila-based cocktail. We call it the Hibiscus Type. It is definitely a very bright, summery drink, and it's a lot of fun for sure. So we're going to start off with our lemon juice, and it's going to be 3/4 ounce. I'm going to add my plum bitters, which is 4 dashes, which has this unique kind of bubblegum flavor to it, but not overbearing. And then I'm going to add 1/2 ounce of hibiscus syrup. That is basically just hot, simple syrup with about a dozen hibiscus pods dropped right in. And then green chartreuse, which is going to add to the digestive of it.
Looks like our now.
There you go. All right, so we're going to do that. And then 2 ounces of Cuervo Tradicional tequila. We're going to shake that up.
I love when mixologists show us their special moves. It's so satisfying to see the drink mixed by a professional.
All right. We're going to strain this and then add 1 large ice cube. You can add regular ice at home, but we like using these big cubes here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to drop a lemon wheel for garnish, but if you're too impatient at home, just start drinking it.
Gorgeous. And that's your perfect after dinner cocktail. Now, so people can make this at home, or if they want to, they can come and visit you, right?
100%.
Awesome.
But listen, right now, we need everybody to visit us. All the restaurants are struggling. Mm-hmm. You know, we're talking about how busy Battello is, but every restaurant is struggling. We need everyone to support small businesses right now because the time of us, the possibility of us not making it is severe. Mm-hmm. We need Governor Murphy to open indoor dining so that we can all survive.
Please.
And I know in turn, Chef Ryan, you support a lot of charities as well, the Jersey Battered Women's Services and Eva's Village. So when you're helping out small businesses, they are probably in turn helping out some local charities as well.
100%. I mean, you know, Jersey Battered Women's Services, I've been co-chairing for over 10 years with Corey Heyer, which I know you know, he used to be the chef at Burns Inn. And Eva's Village was our first event last year. We raised $250,000, and we had an event booked for a month from now. And obviously we have to cancel it. So all these charities are also suffering. So we're trying to do whatever we can to make sure that everybody survives through this.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Chef Ryan and Schuyler. We really appreciate you guys coming on and showing us how to make some apps and some cocktails for our summertime barbecues.
Cheers, Rebecca. Thank you for having me.
And again, you can check out Battello, which is in Jersey City. It's right by the water. It has a great view of the skyline, you know, great drinks, great pasta. And Chef Ryan is also the executive chef and partner at the Kitchen Step in Jersey City and Festino in Montclair, which is another great restaurant. So if you want to try that fresh pasta, head there. Like they said, small businesses need all the support they can get right now. So thank you for joining us for another happy hour, and we will see you next week. Cheers.